Geez, oh, what happened to this? This box is absolutely knackered and the wagon inside looks filthy. Let me get this out and I'll show you what I mean. So this is number 4305B in the Roco range. It's obviously a beer wagon and it's advertising Furstenberg Pilsner. But somebody in the past has given this a really bad weathering job. It looks really grubby. It actually just looks dirty rather than nicely weathered. And the chassis is also not too good either. One of the good things about this wagon is it's complete, though. It's got all the buffers and the couplings. You can see that the couplings have this cantilever system on them. It's got great detail in the moulding on the bottom of the chassis there, some plank details and brake gear which is moulded in. It's got metal wheels which revolve pretty well. It's got some nice detail on the side of the chassis, and also the planking on this model is really good and the door looks really convincing. No moulding mark on the roof or anything like that, so it is actually a very good little model. However, it's really suffered since it came out of the factory. In this video I'm going to try and bring this back from the mess that it's in at the moment and try and get rid of all this paint. And to do that I'm going to use a trusted method of using this Tesco multi-surface cleaner. Surprisingly enough, this has worked really well in the past at getting rid of some of the paint on these models. It just needs to soak overnight and they come out smelling cotton fresh as well, which is great. Before that, we need to take this apart. So pretty easy to take this wagon apart. These three pieces at the front are going to be in the bath overnight. The other parts we'll just put to one side. So I'll be back after this short break. God, that stuff's pretty brutal anyway. It's worked quite well on the roof and the chassis, but with having removed the paint I can see now that it's got a scratch on the roof, and also there's a moulding mark just on the edge of the roof line here. So I'm going to use some wet and dry on the roof and sand out that little scratch and this piece here, and then I think I'm going to paint this matte black. And the chassis turned out pretty good, but seeing as I've got the matte black out I might as well spray this matte black as well. You know, maybe it went a bit too far on this body shell, because not only is it taken off all the kind of weathering that the previous owner put on this, it's also taken off the logos and most of the paintwork. Unfortunately, this is going to have to get repainted, and so it's a prime candidate just to do it in a basic brown colour, and maybe just a little bit of weathering as well, or some shading to pick out some of the details on this moulding. So a bit of sanding and then a bit of painting and I'll be back. I was hoping this brown colour might improve a little bit with this wash over it, but I don't think it really has. It's still a little bit too yellow in my mind. So this Revel brown colour I don't think is the right colour for this wagon. I've managed to actually find this Humbrol RC402. I don't think they even make this paint anymore. It was from their rail colour range and I've had this for a long time, so I'm going to resurrect this one and repaint this whole thing from scratch using this RC402. So I'm going to be using quite a hard bristle brush here with almost like a dry brushing technique over this, because I want to keep some of the shading which we've already got on here. So I've left it intentionally rough to build up some texture. You can see it building up around here. I think this is looking a lot better colour now. It's definitely less yellow. So the next step is to go back with the smoky ink and give a bit more depth onto this model. So I think that's the body finish now, quite happy with that. And I've also painted the roof and the chassis with this matte black, and I think it's come out really well. The roof is very smooth and the chassis looks pretty good as well. And both of those were sprayed with Humbrol Black Matte 33. This is actually matte primer. So the next step is just to get all these pieces back together, and I think we're done. I didn't see it before, but I've just noticed that these couplings have the option to be close coupled or not. So it's got two different settings there. That is actually quite cool. And I'm going to set these on close couplings. And with that, I think we're done. I think this wagon turned out really good. It looks a bit grubby, well worn, and I think it looks very prototypical, certainly a lot better than it did when it first came to me. Now, a lot of people ask in the comments, how much do my models cost me? Because as you know, most of them are second-hand. Well, this wagon actually cost me nothing, because it was chucked in for free with another purchase that I made of some coaches. I have painted this up though. The spray paint cost me £16 in total for these two from my local model shop, but unfortunately the Revel brown colour was just too yellowy for what I wanted, so that was actually a bit of a waste of money. But I used so little of these spray paints that they'll go on to be used for some other projects, I'm sure. And I did use a lot of other paints, but those were all paints I had already. So really, this model cost me almost next to nothing, and I think it looks like a fantastic van, something I can be really proud of as well because I made it my own. But what do you think about this model? Do you think it looks really good, or would you have done it a different way? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to know your thoughts. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps this channel grow. So I'll put the wagon on the turntable so you can see all the way around. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. See ya!